Coming up next on CBS Sports, the Masters.
The greatest drive in golf is behind these gates. It's called Magnolia Lane, but in reality, it's a trip down memory lane. It conjures up images of founder Bob Jones, an unparalleled amateur champion whose greatest legacy was his building of the Augusta National Golf Club and his tournament, the Masters. This journey of 350 yards floods the mind with thoughts of champions like the Squire, Gene Sarazen, Byron Nelson, Ben Hogan, Sam Snead, and Arnold Palmer. You don't rush this trip, you savor it and realize that straight ahead is golf's most elegant paradise. You recall not only the history, but the thrilling pursuit of golf's most cherished prize, the green jacket.
Up the hill. Did you ever see one like that? I think that's one of the greatest putts I've ever seen in my life.
Maybe. Yes, sir!
How's that look? There it is! Can you believe it? Got it.
Today, an elite group has driven Magnolia Lane. Ian Woosnam, the wee Welshman, who can become the third ever to defend. Australia's hopes ride with Popeye-armed Craig Perry and British Open champion Ian Baker Finch. Ray Floyd will try to become the oldest Masters champion. And free-flowing Fred Couples seeks his first major championship today. They've all arrived and entered the grounds through the clubhouse. Now you've arrived for the final round of the Masters.
From the Augusta National Golf Club in Augusta, Georgia, CBS Sports proudly presents the 1992 Masters Tournament.
It's a setting so special and so serene that it is every golfer's dream to come to the Augusta National. In 1930, the visionary Bob Jones transformed this land from a nursery into an impeccable theater. And now the vision is shared by the best players around the globe who aspire to be a Masters champion. We endured a 3-hour rain delay yesterday, but right now the weather is magnificent. And the latest from the National Weather Service says no thunder within 150 miles of Augusta. But we may see some showers and thunderstorms develop in the area, but again, none at this time. The Masters is filled with tradition, but always one of the more poignant moments occurs Thursday morning, right at the start. Look at the names. 3 legends who gathered as the honorary starters and introduced by new Augusta National Golf Club Chairman Jack Stevens. Sam Snead at age 80.
Mr. Byron Nelson.
Also at age 80, standing on the first tee, 8:30 on Thursday, was Byron Nelson. And at age 90, the Squire, Gene Sarazen, the 1935 Masters champion.
Gene, 2 times U.S. Open champion, 3 times PGA champion. And we all know of the shot heard around the world.
How many were here? How many of them were here then?
Certainly appreciate you 3 fine gentlemen serving as honorary starters.
A ceremonial first
You're the
tee shot.
oldest.
And the honors by 90-year-old Gene Sarazen right down the middle. And the Masters was underway. This is golf's first leg of the Grand Slam, and the dignitaries from this sport always gather here. There's Jack Stevens with Chairman Emeritus Hort Harden and the gentleman from the Royal and Ancient in Scotland. Their championship this year will be held at Muirfield in July. Representatives here from Ireland. The PGA of America, who in August will close out the Grand Slam at Bellerive in St. Louis. The PGA Tour. The United States Golf Association, which will hold the National Open in June at Pebble Beach. All of golf's royalty gathered here in Augusta. And good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the final round of the Masters. The final 9 holes of this tournament always produce the most exciting stretch in golf, and indeed, it seems we are set for a big Sunday shootout. Already, Mark Calcavecchia set a Masters record today as he shot 29 on the back nine, including a record-tying 6 straight birdies to close his day. And early this morning, 6 players had to come out to complete the finish of yesterday's rain-delayed 3rd round. At 8 o'clock this morning, Woozy getting ready on the practice green because he would face right away a birdie putt at the 14th. He had marked his position right here when darkness arrived last night at 8 o'clock. So he comes out with a birdie try. What a way to start. He picked up another birdie and closed the 3rd round at -8. Fred Couples, he started this morning at the 15th. Hit the green in 2. This was an eagle try. Two-putt birdie for Couples at the 15th. Raymond Floyd, his putt for birdie at 15 this morning. Ray Floyd with a 69, finished 3 rounds at 10 under. Couples at 16. A birdie beginning this morning for Couples to go to 11 under through 54 holes. Craig Perry failed to birdie the par 5 15th. But watch the 26-year-old Australian with the approach at the 17th. Birdie for Perry at the 17th, and he held the lead this morning after 3 rounds by 1 over Couples. They're paired together. Ray Floyd was 2 back through 54 holes, and then Ian Baker Finch, Woosnam, and Price at -8 with Jeff Sluman, not to be forgotten, at -7. The final round pairing set up this way: Ted Schulz and Mark O'Meara, and Bruce Litsky with Jeff Sluman. Nick Price and defending champion Ian Woosnam. Ray Floyd with Ian Baker Finch, and the final group as Craig Perry with the #1 player in the world, Fred Couples. Now let's pick up the action on the front 9. This is Craig Perry in the 4th round at the 2nd for birdie. Perry makes birdie at 2. Couples drove into the azaleas and made bogey, so it was a 2-shot swing, and for a moment Perry had a 3-shot lead. But pick it up in the fairway at the 3rd hole. Fred Couples, he's been knocking down some flag sticks this week. Almost an eagle 2. He made his birdie at 3. Perry at the 3rd. This was for par. Remember, there had just been a 2-shot swing at the 2nd, and Couples gets it right back. A bogey for Perry. He would make that putt for bogey, a birdie for Couples on that hole. And here he stands, Fred Couples on the 4th tee, a 200-yard par 3. Excellent. Craig Perry, meanwhile, at the 4th. An early tendency today, Perry has been coming up short on all of his approach putts. His long birdie putts, all have been short. Now, Couples at the 4th for birdie. So close. Now Perry, you see how far he left this one short. This is for par at 4. He had a 1-shot lead and he dropped it there. So Couples and Perry were tied through 4. Meanwhile, up ahead, Ray Floyd, who had bogeyed the first. In fact, had to make a 5-foot putt at the first for bogey. This is at 6, though, for birdie. And Ray Floyd got to 10 under par with that one. At the 5th, Craig Perry for par. That dropped him to 10 under and in a tie with Floyd, and Couples also bogeyed the 5th to drop to 10 under. At the same time, Ted Jules was making an eagle 3 at the 8th. So for a moment, we had a 4-way tie at 10 under with Floyd, Couples, Perry, and Jules. But now Jules has bogeyed the 9th to drop 1 back. And Nick Faldo is charging out in 33, including birdies at the first 2 holes. Corey Pavin, he had an ace on Friday. He's within 2. Ian Baker Finch is at -8. Jeff Sluman, 7 under par, right where he started. Wayne Grady at -6. Greg Norman has just bogeyed the 16th to go to 6 under par with Steve Payton, Larry Mize, and Nolan Hinkey. And Ian Woosnam, you see, at -5. John Daly, by the way, at the top of that page with a 68, a fine showing for the PGA champion in his first Masters. Over at the 8th, Ian Baker Finch.
The 8th hole, 535 yards straight up the hill. Second shot goes around a corner, bunch of trees on the left. There you get a good look at what the players can't see the flagstick at all. Pin today is cut 29 steps onto the green. Right in the middle, the idea here is to either leave it way short and fly your 3rd shot on the green, or get it up as close as you can to the flagstick. Ian Baker Finch going with a 3-wood, and he'll try to hit a hard ramming hook up there. You see how much of a hill that was. Hung back on his right foot, trying to sling it, didn't hook it. Now he's got a tricky little pitch shot to that pin placement. No bunkers around this hole. Very deep green, kidney shaped. And right in front of that pin, there's a big knoll that comes off that hill you see to the right of the pin. Raymond driving the ball exceptionally long today. He hit an iron to the 2nd hole. Saw a bunch of players go through there, and everybody was cranking woods at it. Kenny, he's got a 3-wood here, and Raymond, I've never seen a guy that's like the last 10 years. Raymond's getting about 5 yards longer every year. What's going on here?
Well, he's been working out. He said he doesn't get tired. And the thing about the hard part is he had to come out so early this morning, then went back home. And if he gets tired, it's because of the long wait.
I would think that Kenny Raymond is probably within range of this green, don't you?
No doubt.
You can see him leaning there, trying to hit that twirl hook in there. Rather confident walk, and boy, that's why right there. Beautiful golf shot. Absolutely fantastic. And Raymond Floyd, right now in a tie for the lead, has got 2 putts for a birdie.
Floyd, Couples, and Perry deadlocked at 10 under par. Young Ted Jules is 1 back. A Sunday shootout at the Masters coming up. Floyd, Couples, and Perry tied at 10 under. Look out for Nick Faldo, 2 back. Led by Pat Summerall in his 25th Masters, here are the gentlemen who will be describing the action in the final round of the Masters.
I'm Peter Costas. It's been said that the Masters tournament doesn't really begin until Sunday afternoon when the players face the 485-yard par 4 10th hole. So far this week, this hole has been the most difficult on the course, and today things won't change. While the back left pin placement is relatively accessible, the wet fairways will leave the players with long approach shots.
I'm Vern Lundquist, and I'll be covering the 11th hole, the long par 4 that signals the entry into Amen Corner. With the hole today cut back left, this pond is very much in play. It was into this pond that Raymond Floyd saw his dreams of a 2nd Masters championship disappear 2 years ago. I'll also be covering the par 3 12th hole, one of the most beautiful and pivotal holes on the back 9. With the pin cut in its traditional Sunday placement, back right, and the hole playing at 165 yards today, the prudent player will find the center of the green with his tee shot, take 2 putts, and walk quietly to the 13th tee.
I'm Tom Weiskopf here at the beautiful and challenging par 5 13th hole at Augusta. This hole is only 465 yards in length, but the risk-reward situations here are numerous. The players must avoid the tributary of Rays Creek from the tee. Down the left-hand side, this creek meanders up until it hits the front of the green, turns sharply to the right, and protects what I think to be the most affordable and easiest pin placement on this green. There will be some eagles here, and maybe that will determine our champion.
I'm Bobby Clampett. I'll be covering the 14th hole, 405-yard dogleg to the left par 4. Now this hole, if the player can play a long right-to-left tee shot, he can widen the fairway by some 15 yards. Second shot, slightly uphill to a plateaued green. This is the most difficult feature of this hole. And the pin placement today, an unusual place for the final round, the front right.
I'm Ben Wright. I'll be reporting the play from the 15th hole, a 500-yard par 5. The weather this week has been so benign that this is anything but the par 5 that Bobby Jones envisioned, with the choice at the top of the hill whether to go for the green or lay up short of the water. You go for the green this week. And I'll also be at the 16th hole, a 180-yard par 3. The traditional Sunday pin placement back left will bring the left-hand bunker and the pond very much into play.
I'm Gary McCord. I'll be on the 17th hole, a straightaway par 4 of 400 yards up the hill. Trees on the right and trees on the left. The real problem off the tee is the large Eisenhower tree in the left center of this fairway. Players have to hit a high hook to get over it. From there, just a short iron to a wide undulating green with the pin today cut in the most difficult position, back right.
And I'm Pat Summerall. I'll be at 18, an uphill par 4, 405 yards in length. Unusual, it's one of the few holes at Augusta that requires the tee shot to go left to right instead of right to left. Also, there are 2 big bunkers on the left side of the fairway that should be avoided at all costs. A 2-tiered green, that today it's on the upper shelf. It'll be difficult to get anything very close. Now, with his thoughts about the tournament, CBS golf analyst Ken Venturi.
Yesterday's rain delay lasted almost 3 hours and took its toll on the leaders, who didn't leave the course until after darkness fell and then had to return early this morning to finish their rounds. Today, with the threat of storms in the air, the players face another long and difficult afternoon, which will give the patient and experienced player an advantage. The heavy rains will make the course play longer, but the greens will be softer and will allow the players to fire more shots at the pins. Under these conditions, I don't expect to see a player come out of the pack and overtake the leaders to win this year's Masters.
We're at the 7th hole, 360 yards, par 4. Craig Parry in the rough to the left of the fairway. Pin very far left. Oh, and that actually probably was quite lucky. It could have plugged in the bunker. And now earlier, Fred Couples gets relief from a sprinkler head, punches it out from under the trees and into a greenside bunker. So this hole that can be so easy on paper is once again posing enormous problems as we move forward to the 8th.
Not having a problem with this hole is Raymond Floyd. This is for a 3 and eagle. That's a beautiful 4, and Raymond is taking charge as Freddie is not looking real good right behind him. Raymond is going to go to -11. Be interesting to see how it sets up before they get to the 10th hole when this tournament starts. And it look like right now Raymond is taking over. 1976 champion. This 8th hole, reachable today. Raymond's hit it on, so we're looking for Freddie and Craig Parry to have a go at it. Ian Baker Finch now. This will be for a birdie.
How many birdies on each today, Mark?
One of the best putters in the world right here. Just a good, solid game. Hits the ball nice and high, very straight, not real long. Great putter, good wedge player. Very good thinker, very calm demeanor, very good player for this type of golf course. This is what I call this is a think tank. This is the ultimate think tank for golfers, Augusta National. And this guy has got the brain for this kind of golf course, namely the putting stroke. For his birdie to get him to -9. It's kind of stuck there, and let's go back to 7.
Third shot of Craig Parry. Very nicely played indeed. The pin is placed just 6 yards from the left-hand edge of the screen, 7 yards from the front as Freddie Couples makes his way into one of the 3 front bunkers. As you can see, it's a very deep and cavernous trap. And he's going to have to get it up very quickly to get it over that lip. No room to work the ball between himself and the flagstick. Sevier's triple bogey this hole this afternoon. Sandy Lyle a double. And that's an exquisite shot, one of many, from Fred Couples, who produces an extraordinary mixture. And Fuzzy Zeller earlier today holed his second shot here at the 7th hole to go to the other end of the scale. Of course, Freddie was robbed of an eagle 2 yesterday when his ball went into the hole and was screwed out by the flagstick. He actually disappeared below the surface and was rejected very cruelly. Now, Craig Parry has 3-putted the 3rd, 4th, and 5th holes as we go to the 9th tee.
3 wood for Raymond Floyd.
Ideal position, Pat. He's got to get to the right side of the fairway because the pin is tucked in the left-hand side of the green, which will give you more room and more green to shoot with. Hole today 65 feet back from the front, and it's only 15 feet from the bunkers.
Back at 7.
And Craig Parry, after those 3 putts had really unnerved him, managed to make a par at the 6th hole to stop that run of 3 consecutive 3 putts. This is one that's very swift and will break to his left. This for par to remain at 10 under. 1 off the pace being set by Ray Floyd. Nope. And apparently his inspirational putting has deserted him, at least momentarily. He's been so solid on the greens and into them. Winner last year of 2 tournaments in Europe, the Italian and Scottish Opens, 4 years on the European Tour. There you see his figures with the green indicating 4 bogeys, 1 birdie at the 2nd hole where he got up and down from the front bunker. Now Fred Couples, with another of his Houdini acts, has this putt to save his par, having been in the woods to the right and the front bunker. This again is a putt that will try and escape to the left, probably just inside the right edge. Always feel a little more uncomfortable about Freddie with these short putts. He's better at the 6-footers. No mistake there, however. Ray Floyd by 1 as we go to the 9th.
Nicky Price
started the day at 8 under, got it back to 6 and back to 7. Ball was moving pretty good when it went in the hole.
Yeah, birdies are very rare there. Let's go to 16.
And the tee shot of Rocco Mediate. This hole measures today 180 yards, pin back left. What a wonderful shot there by Rocco. But Ray Floyd, bidding to become the oldest winner, has a one-stroke advantage over Fred Couples.
It is absolutely fascinating to see those two names at the top of the leaderboard. Those two are so dangerous together at Kiowa as partners in the Ryder Cup. They've also shared victory at the Shark Shootout, a two-man competition. Floyd has been such a great help to Couples. Mark Calcavecchia, by the way, we mentioned it earlier. He set an all-time back nine record. He went out in 36 this morning. Bogey at the 5th, birdie at the 8th, birdied the 10th, parred 11 and 12, and then closed with 6 straight birdies. That's an all-time Masters back nine record, breaking the mark first set by Jimmy DeMeritt in 1940, later matched by Littler, Hogan, Player, Nicklaus and Price, and others. And out to 9 with Pat Summerall.
Floyd's second shot.
155, taking it right at the flag. Come down, Raymond, you are too far. That is going to be a big breaking, fast putt coming down that hill, and it'll take all his skill to get this close to the hole. Raymond was really taking the bunkers out of play, and if you're going to miss it there, you don't want to miss it short with that deep bunker in the front.
The roar was from the gallery at 18 for this. Greg Norman for birdie at 18. Norman finishes with a flourish, and he'll make the top 24 back at 9. Floyd approaches.
Got some pretty good climbs here, Pat. That's a long, all the way uphill climb at 8, and you got a pretty steep climb right here at 9 from the crosswalk all the way up to the green. Raymond got up this morning about 6 o'clock, was out here to tee off a little after 8, and went back home. So when he gets finished today, he'll be working about 13 hours.
These people appreciate his efforts.
When you talk about experience, he goes the first hole and starts out with bogey, and then makes pars all the way around, and then makes that fine birdie at 6, and then, of course, that wonderful shot at 8 to set up the 2-putt birdie at 8, and now has a 1-shot lead. Doesn't take long for it to change or swing around at this golf course, and now you're getting to the back 9, you'll see all kinds of action.
Raymond, of course, with Ian Baker Finch. But there's the man in the spotlight at the moment.
Ian hit a fine shot, and they'll just hold high to the right. One thing you can't afford, like they did yesterday, you cannot leave it short of this green, and it comes because the first 35 feet is all sloped and down. You run it down off the green, you'll leave yourself about 50 or 60 more feet. The front 9. 12 under, back 9 plus 1. That doesn't seem right. That seems to go usually it goes the other way. And right now that is the 4-round, that ties the 4-round record. If he 2-putts, that's the 4-round record for under par on the front 9. And I think he'd be very happy right here with 2 putts. I don't think he has any idea of trying to make this.
Over to 10.
And in the fairway of this 485-yard par 4, Jeff Sluman.
Attaboy.
This shot from 185 yards. Jeff currently 7 under par. Great golf shot right at the hole. Jeff will have that left to move to 8 under par. to 8.
And there's Craig Perry, right dead in the middle of the fairway. He's going to have a go at it. Hard hook around the trees. Oh boy, dead pull over the top. Now the question is, can it get over those trees? Our cameraman's got it right there. He got pretty lucky. It must have hit the tree and kicked right. If it kicks left, we'll find him next week. Craig Perry usually plays the ball left to right, and for this week he's been experimenting with playing the ball right to left. Very hard, Kenny, don't you think, to change your golf swing at last couple of weeks to try to adapt it to a golf course?
You have to really get yourself prepared here, and you practice months in advance for these holes, and if you can't go from right to left, you can't play here.
Let's go back to 9 while Freddie's loosening up.
I want you to see exactly where Raymond Floyd is aiming. He has his back to the hole. This putt, it has probably, when it gets through with the break, will probably be close to 50 feet. It's only about a 35-foot putt, and at 50 foot, he's taking a spot on top of the hill and then starts it down.
Well, look where he's aiming and look where the caddy is.
That's way too far out, Raymond. Now watch this one. Look at this. You think he doesn't know this golf course? But he's left himself another one downhill, but not far from being perfect. That putt was outside, almost to the edge of the green, and comes all the way back. And that's the kind of things that when you have to play here a long time to know what these putts will do. Ian's got one of about 20 feet, and he'll have a good 5-foot break, 4.5, 5-foot break.
They both are excellent putters.
It'd be hard to find two better ones than these two.
Yeah, if you went and started picking, probably pick them, wouldn't you?
As I said, it'd be hard to find two other ones. He needs just to go to 9 under. With only 9 holes left to play, he needs some birdies quickly now. Stay up, stay up. And now slow down. You know, watching the front 9, all the players have really been leaving themselves long second putts. Especially Craig Perry. He's 3-putted 3 holes in a row.
So that's been very warm today. Up in the mid-80s. That'll dry those things out in a hurry.
Well, there isn't any wind, so it looked like they predicted 80% chance of thunderstorms, and right now, looking from the tower, I don't see anything that looks like rain at all. The leaders are not tearing the front 9 up at all. This is for par and around the front 9 of 37.
That was desperately needed.
Now this is one right here that on a slow green, this is just a nothing putt, but down the speed of this, you have to feed it, and Raymond is a marvelous feeder of the ball. The stroke is very tender. It's not so much shoulder where he can explode. His hands break a little bit and just feeds the club to the ball.
211.
This is for par for Nick Faldo. Oh, well done. Wide of the green to the right side with his second shot. Chip to that spot, and the 2-time Masters champion is still in the chase at 7 under, back to the 9th.
And Floyd just about ready.
He's taken a long time with this one, Pat. He's looked at it twice from one side, once from the other side, and to the side of the putt. It is right center and a good smooth stroke. No problem. He's happy with 2-putt. I know that.
Back at 8.
Craig Perry, third shot. Very difficult shot here to get the ball close to the pin because he's got a knoll right there. Now watch it just kick off. If you throw it over that knoll, it's about 8 feet in front of the flag. It'll just skid and go way past the hole. Way to play this hole today. If you can't get there, just blow it way to the right of the green. Try to get it pin high, and it's a nice easy pitch. Craig Perry currently at -9, 2 shots back of Raymond Floyd. Let's go to the 12th. Let's go to 16 then.
Jack Nicklaus over his ball, 180 yards from the flagstick. No wind whatsoever. Just come off a birdie, had an eagle chance, left it short at 15. There we go. That's a very difficult position from which to chip, and we'll go back to the 8th. Gary?
Thanks, Ben. Freddie, let's see where Freddie is. I think Freddie, okay, Fred has missed this. He had a 2-iron second shot. He's missed it to the left, about where Raymond Floyd was yesterday. Kenny, this is up and down real quick here, isn't it?
You have to get this up very fast, and you really don't have a lot of green to work with, do you there, Gary?
Boy, he's straight downhill after this ball hits. You can see him loft it. Pretty nice shot. If he hits it short of the pin, it'll just skid right to where that ball is. Nice play right there. I can't believe he was that far to left on the second shot. He must have really overhooked it.
You know, you're so right. That green, if you can't reach it, you have to blow it as far right as you can. Left, you just don't have any chance. And right, it's such an easy pitch.
You can see from our camera position right there how high that hill was. And that slant goes right down. Let's go to the 12th.
And let's see if Nick Faldo flies it at the pin. 4 back on the 12th hole. Too much club? Yes. And that back bunker leaves him with a terrifying bunker shot downhill. Well, this hole about as quiet as it has been in recent years. Really all week. It's already given up 10 birdies today. There's been an absence of the usual winds, which are so much a part of the hole. Now Corey Pavin trying to finish in the top 10 for the first time at the Masters. We go to 8.
Craig Perry, this is a birdie attempt, but he's just trying to get this ball somewhere close. Guys have got to take advantage of these par 5s. Raymond Floyd already has, hitting this green in 2 and 2 putting. Boy, he's done it again. That's about 4 putts already. He has left way short. It is Sunday. It's Augusta. That'll happen. Freddie Couples. Kenny, I really question Freddie if he's going to miss it here, especially with a 2-iron. If he's going to miss it, all he's got to do is hang it to the right, and he's got an easy pitch. To miss the ball that far left, something strange must have happened, don't you think?
Well, he hit a good shot there yesterday. Remember, he hit that slinger in
right
there, and it was probably only about 8-9 yards right of the one he just hit today. But he'll know next time, and this is experience, you cannot miss this second shot to the left of the green.
Beautiful pace on Freddie's putts. The balls are always right around the hole. Very good sense of touch. Freddie Couples now 1 shot back of Raymond. This is for a birdie 4. Oh boy, a mistake, and he comes back with a 25-footer. Rectifies the mistake. A little smile there, Freddie. You got away with one. That's wonderful. We've got a 2-way tie now. 2 close friends, Ryder Cup partners. They've got 2-shot lead now over Ted Scholes and Craig Perry, who is attempting this putt for his par. One Masters appearance by Craig Perry. Missed a cut badly last year, a couple years ago, and then he's come back and really played well. This kid's going to be here for a long time as a good player. Good 2-putt right there, and he remains at -9, 2 shots back as the day is about to begin. And there we get a good look of what's going on, and we're just about to the back 9 when all the fun starts. Looks like the top 24 this year is going to be about -2, and they'll all be back for next year's tournament. Let's go out to the 16th hole. Ben?
And Jack Nicklaus over the ball, testing little chip over the ridge. No. One of mine. Very difficult. Such a fast descent to the hole once you get over that ridge. I think the putter is the wise choice now, and Jack struggling a bit to try and give himself an aura of respectability after 6 victories as we go to the 12th.
And a true test of courage for Nick Faldo. Awkward stance. He's tried to take his stance a couple of times. While we wait, we go to 9.
And on the tee, Fred Couples, Craig Perry. Couples first.
Couples with the driver, and he knows his best position is the right side.
Well, he didn't look like he liked that.
No, that looked like it's way right. That came out as probably down on the right-hand side as far as he wanted to be. I think he's in good shape.
I think he is too.
Perry's got to get something going. He's got to stop the bleeding. He missed that putt on the last hole. There have been 4 3-putts for 8 holes. Well, the gallery approves.
It looked pretty solid.
Oh, yes, that's right in the crosswalk. That's big drive. May make it across the walk. It did. He is in absolute perfect position.
211.
And in the fairway, this 455-yard par 4, Bruce Litsky, who is currently at 6 under. He has found the middle of the fairway. Pin cut back left, 31 yards from the front. That is the traditional Sunday placement. Fine shot for Bruce Litsky. Leads himself about 45 feet, but safely on. Playing with Jeff Sluman, who was the first-round co-leader with a round of 65. Slipped to a 74 on Friday, came back at 2 under par 70 yesterday, and is now, as he began the day, at 7 under. Jeff took his drive down the left side of the fairway. That allows him to aim it in the general direction of those 2 back bunkers, and he has divided the difference, and he's safely on. We go to 10.
And from the far, far right-hand side of the fairway, Raymond Floyd looks at the 10th green. He has 210 yards left. Ray has to have hit a monstrous drive to get this close to the green, taking the high road down the right side, because normally it's at least 3 clubs longer. The pin cut right in that green opening you see between the right-hand bunker and the big bunker in the center of the fairway. This will be a long iron shot for Raymond. Pin cut all the way back left. You can see he's put the ball back in his stance to allow for the downhill lie. Well balanced, Well-controlled swing. Safely on, some 20 feet below the hole. Raymond Floyd, currently leading at 11 under, will have that putt to move to 12. The 10th hole, a beautiful hole, downhill, dogleg left. Raymond took the high road. His fellow competitor, Ian Baker Finch, at 8 under par, took the low road. He took the left side of the fairway and is left with 200 yards.
Go ahead and hit it.
The advantage of the left side of the fairway, generally you'll have a slightly more level stance. The ever methodical Baker Finch going through his routine. Front 9 2 under, back 9 6 under. He must be looking forward to the rest of this 9. Another well-balanced golf swing. Oh, right over the hole. But he will have a terribly difficult chip shot from there.
Ray Floyd and Fred Couples 11 under each. And Craig Perry's 2 back. Ted Schulz, who qualified for this tournament by finishing on last year's top 30 money list. Get back to the back 9 in a moment.
Back at 9, the final 2, Fred Couples and Craig Perry. Couples.
155, 7-iron, and looking good just past the hole. Hit that slope and come right back down. But that's the putt with the big break. That one there's got a 5-foot break to it. Craig Perry is only, I would say, 110 yards and in the absolute perfect position. Why Couples was a little disturbed with the tee shot. He healed it, and when he's that far behind Craig Perry and that much to the right where he hit it in the rough, he didn't like it. Perry with a pitching wedge. He has to make birdie here to give himself some momentum on the back 9 and pick himself up. This one's got to fly right at the hole. Take a little bit from right to left. Come down, ball. Come down. Spin on it. Needs a little more of that shelf. Come on. Come on. Come on. That shows you just how fast that green is from above the hole.
Hole's 435 yards, and he used a pitching wedge.
Yes, and it's going to be just that fast as you saw that putt on this putt.
To 12.
And here's the tee shot of Ted Schulz, only 3 off the lead. Just suffered a bogey at the 11th. And on the back fringe of this par 3 12th, so long downhill putt. But safely on, that's the important thing here in the final round of the Masters. We are tied at the top, Ray Floyd and Fred Couples at 11 under par. Craig Perry 2 back, Schulz and Ian Baker Finch at -8. Then come Norman and Larry Mize. They have completed their rounds. So also has Steve Pate, and also at -7, Pavin, Sluman, and Price. And you see the list on down to those, the large list that includes those at 5 under par for the tournament. Davis Love still on the course at -5. And Andrew McGee among those playing at -4. Ian Woosnam, a tough day. He is at 5 under, playing on the 11th. We go back to the 10th.
And the chip shot of Ian Baker Finch. Golly, he took a huge swing at that thing. He must not have had much confidence in that lie. Did not spin the ball enough and is left with that putt for par to 9.
Couples. Big break, as Ken Venturi said.
Almost the exact putt that Ian Baker Finch had, and it's no one really has kept this above the hole. When it starts breaking, it really goes sideways, so it's pretty hard to hold it above the hole once it begins to break. But he's maybe 18 feet, and you're looking at a 4 or 5 foot break. This is where it takes patience. You can't be firing at these kind of putts. You got to feed it, as we've watched Raymond Floyd do so often.
What effect, Kenny, does it have on him, the fact that he has never won a major championship?
Well, you know, the hardest win is the first win, and the hardest major is to get it there, and because he's got the talent, and it's all timing. It's being in the right place at the right time. Someone making a mistake and lets you win, or just being on top of your game that week.
I don't think there's any doubt about him being on the top of his game. Over to 10.
As Raymond Floyd sizes up this putt for 3, no one has gotten the ball to the hole from this position yet today. You'll get a good first-hand impression of Raymond Floyd's experience here, if he does. Like so many before, to 9.
Couples at 9.
Now it goes sideways. Hit it, you got it. That's the first of the day. And the last player to have it. Now Perry really has to make this putt. Or he'll be 3 back and 9 to play.
Everything looks so easy to Fred. I'm not saying it is, but it looks that way.
Well, the other day you saw frustration, and when he made the double bogey and he saw the way he swung the tee shot and took the practice swing. Listen, because it's calm on the outside doesn't mean it's calm on the inside.
He even makes walking look easy.
Perry now for 10 feet. Puddle comes sideways as it starts to die down. It's all speed. All speed, and a little less speed, it goes dead center. But again, he's left himself a 2.5, 3-footer. This time it's by the hole, though, Pat. He's been short on all the putts he's been hitting on the front 9.
Back at 10.
Ian Baker Finch finishing up with a bogey 5 to drop now to 7 under par as Raymond prepares his short attempt at par. Let's wait, go back to 9.
Tough putt. Didn't look tough.
Well, he had it to 13 after the second hole, and now makes a turn at 9, so it's a front 9 of 39,
at
all
10.
because the putting.
Raymond Floyd, Augusta is tradition, it's customs, it's experience. And heading into this back 9, you'd have to give Raymond the lead on experience. This putt has gone left, hard at the hole, all day long. He misses it on the high side for his par, the first player to do so. This cup is treacherous today. Paul Azinger 3-putted from 2.5 feet earlier. Even this putt, Raymond must be careful of. Safely in. Unfortunately for a 5. And the crowd cheers Raymond on as he moves towards the 11th tee. And back on the tee with a 2-shot lead, Freddie Couples. You know, Kenny, it won't be long before people stop calling this recent play of Freddie's a streak and realize that it's really a new level of performance that he's elevated himself to.
The way he's playing and the way he conducts himself, he can last for a long, long time playing this well.
3 birdies, 2 bogeys on the front side for Fred. He's been under this competitive pressure for so long. He has to be accustomed to it and perhaps best trained to handle it over the remaining 9 holes. Going with his trusty 3-wood. Good solid golf swing. He finally I believe, hits the fairway. He's had a fit with this hole all week long, safely in position down the left side of the fairway.
Quiet, please.
His fellow competitor, Craig Perry.
Peter, with him hitting that 3-wood, that's probably the least amount of roll any player has ever gotten on the left-hand side of that fairway.
You know, all week long I've watched him play this hole, Kenny, and he's actually carried the ball too darn far. If he hit it 20 yards shorter, he would in effect pick up about 20 yards more roll and be past where he is now. Craig Perry going with the driver. Like to forget the front 9, focus on the back 9. All any player would like at this point in the proceedings is to be in position heading towards the back 9. That, unfortunately, is not the position he would like to be in. He has caught the trees on the left-hand side. As Freddie walks down the 90-foot elevation drop of the 10th fairway, he carries with him a 2-shot lead over Raymond Floyd and 1 and 3 over Craig Perry.
It could be the biggest day of Fred Couples' career. He came out this morning to finish up his 3rd round, birdied 2 of the 4 holes. Then he went back to his house that he had rented here in Augusta and took a nap. Started all over again, came back, loosened up, hit range balls, just shot 35 on the front. He has a 2-shot lead. Group of players at 7 under, including Greg Norman, Larry Mize, and Steve Pate, Corey Pavin with Ian Baker Finch as well. John Daly with a 68. Top 24, always something you look for, and exactly 24 players at the moment are at -5 or better. And out to the action at the 10th with Peter Costas.
Thank you, Jim. And actually, we're still trying to locate the golf ball of Craig Perry. He has caught the trees down the left-hand side. Will have to slow down his pace a little bit, compose himself, get collected, not try to do anything stupid in pursuit of a par to 13.
The birdie effort from Corey Pavin. Much needed. Much needed. Corey had to lay up, played a beautiful pitch to there. So, Faldo, this is for par. Nick missed the green in 2 to the left, did not get the ball up and down, so very discouraging, really, for him. Off they go to the tee, very closely located to the 14th, back to 10.
And Tom, thank you. We have found Mr. Perry over 240 yards from the green. If, however, he can just carry that huge fairway bunker that you see in the middle of the fairway, he can catch a downslope, and there's a huge swale, and perhaps he could run the ball up the swale in front of the green and get it onto the green.
Peter, he's right near the 18th green. He hits the trees on the left and bounced a good 60, 70 yards to the right. I've never seen a ball there off the 10th hole.
That's kicked virtually 90 degrees, Kenny, right back to the right.
He's got to have about 280 to the green from there.
Well, here's the key, Kenny. He would like to get from where he is to in the cup in 3 shots. It's going to take him 2 to get to the green at least. He's going to divide up that 2 however he feels most comfortable, and it looks like he's going with an iron to lay up short, leave himself a full shot back to the pin. Distracted by someone in the gallery. He caught that movement with his peripheral vision. He is over 260 yards away.
Hold your position, buddy. On the fairway,
Has played his shot, laid up down to the right, almost where you might be with a real solid tee shot on a dry day. Meanwhile, on the lower left-hand side of the fairway, the right-hand side of your television screen, Fred Couples is 185 yards from this small and tilted green on the 10th hole. And while we wait, let's go to 11.
And back in the fairway, this is the second shot of Ian Baker Finch. 190 yards out. Took it down the left side of the fairway. And that is a marvelous shot for Finch. He's on the back edge of the green. With a downhill putt for birdie. Now Raymond Floyd. Asking the gallery to move. It was here, of course, that Raymond 2 years ago in the playoff put his second shot in the pond to the left. Kenny, he's taken the aggressive route, though. He's gone down the right side. That gives him more of a chance to go at the pin, but it does bring the pond into play, does it not?
Well, as short as it's playing now, Vern, what he'll do is he'll try to bring it right to left. He will not take it over the pond itself. It will go about to the right-hand side of that back bunker and then try to bring it right to left and take the pond out of play.
175 yards out. Floyd 2 shots back of Fred Couples in a storybook Sunday here. The 49-year-old Raymond Floyd battling his 32-year-old good friend and protege Fred Couples. Hold up. Just off the back edge. But he's in good shape, is Ray Floyd. So Floyd and Ian Baker Finch both beyond the pin on the 11th. Raymond Floyd, who must have memories every time he takes that stroll down the 11th fairway of what might have been in 1990. We go back to the 10th.
From the left-hand side of the fairway, Fred Couples will have to contend with a pine tree overhanging the fairway some 90 yards short of the green, and he's elected to go to the right of it, and it did not come back to the left. He has found the bunker to the right-hand side, and we have only seen one player today get the ball up and down from that position. Now facing his third shot, Craig Perry. The key when you've hit a bad shot, don't try to follow it with a great shot. Just try to hit a good, solid shot. And if you follow a bad shot with enough good shots, you'll recover. As we look at the leaderboard at this moment in the final round of the Masters, Fred Couples 2 shots over Raymond Floyd. Craig Perry and Corey Pavin trying to make a move. This 10th hole has been the absolute ruin of many a player in the Masters. This short iron shot for Craig Perry. Well done. Release back to the hole. A solid 8-footer left for his par to 18.
Jack Nicklaus. Standing ovation that has become standard.
Well, he was walking up. If you had told everything he's done, the show would run over.
Well, just have a look. 61 subpar rounds, 35 rounds under 70, 21 top 10 finishes. It just goes on and on. To 11.
Raymond Floyd. This for birdie, just wants to get it close. He's 55 feet away. It will break right to left. No, changed his mind.
I'll say one thing, Vern. He's one of the few players you'll see from there that will chip it and not putt it.
Mm-hmm. Does it have the right pace? Not bad at all. He's got about 4.5 feet left, though. So certainly his test at the 11th is not complete. We go back to 10.
From 60 feet from the pin in the right-hand bunker, Fred Couples faces this shot. Uphill lie in the bunker. Makes it difficult to get some release on the shot. And you want to get release because you don't want to try and carry it all the way back to this pin, which is only 4 paces from the back edge of the green. Marvelous golf shot, 4.5 feet below the hole. Fred will have that left for his par. To 16.
Nolan Henke is quietly working his way through the field. Tee shot here at the 16th, 180 yards. He's birdied the 12th, the 13th, and the 15th holes. To 13.
Earlier, 10, Ted Schultz, eagle opportunity. Everybody's left this putt short. So that's quite a bit left there, 3 feet for Ted. He can't afford to 3-putt this hole. Back to 10.
As Craig Perry sizes up this par putt. Kenny, don't you think that while he may be fighting his golf swing, the fact that he laid up with an iron, played a solid iron shot to this position instead of trying to whack at a fairway wood or so, shows that he's not losing his composure?
Well, he had the only shot he could play, Peter, is because the bunker is in the middle of the fairway, and a good wood shot would put him right in the bunker and would make it harder. So you missed the shot, might as well accept it and do the best you can.
This putt has been very difficult to get to the hole all day long. The late afternoon shadows of the Georgia pines make reading and lining up these putts a little bit more difficult. Started that well out to the right. That was a good stroke on a bad aim. He either misaimed that or misread it because he hit the ball right where his putter was looking. Now he'll have to fight his frustrations as we go to 13.
Ted Schultz, 3.5 feet. Good birdie. Forward to 18 and Pat and Ken.
Nicholas, par putt. Back at 11.
Raymond Floyd to save par. And that keeps him within 2 for the moment as he completes the first of the 3 holes of the main corner. We go back to 10.
Freddie was all set to hit this putt a few moments ago and then decided to take one more look from the back edge of the green, and while he does again, let's go to 18.
Jack Nicklaus makes a 5. Finishes -1. Back at 10.
After his 4th look at this putt, Fred is now ready. This is no time to be unsure of yourself or uncommitted. Firmly just outside the right edge.
Break.
Yes, the first person to make that putt today. Fred Couples saves his par at 10 and remains at 12 under par, our leader by 2. There is a part of his game that he has really improved in the last 2 years. You just saw it. Now with the gallery moving to get in position for the 11th hole. And his frustrations perhaps rising a bit. Craig Perry has this putt left for bogey. Safely in. However, Craig Perry drops to 8 under, and let's go to 12.
2 out of the lead at the 12th. Raymond Floyd, with all of his years of experience, you can be shocked if this is anywhere but the middle of the green. And he made the safe play over the bunker, back edge, in between the back 2 bunkers. This has been a difficult hole for Raymond Floyd, and a slight gust of wind came up right after his tee shot. A double bogey here on Friday. He bogeyed the hole yesterday. He did have a par on Saturday. Now, Ian Baker Finch might have a different tactic. He is 5 off the lead now, and given the absence of wind, Baker Finch might take a run at the hole. See what he has in mind. He did not. Found the back bunker. Fred Couples with a 2-shot edge, playing the 11th hole on a Sunday in Augusta. Ray Floyd is 2 back, followed by Pavin and Schultz, along with Craig Perry.
Fred Couples, at age 32, raised in Seattle, Washington, has the lead on the back 9 in the final round of the Masters. He started the final round 1 back of Craig Perry. What a touch he has shown, especially on the last 3 holes. This was at 8. If you just joined us, this was Couples for birdie at the par 5 8th. And he followed that with this birdie putt at the 9th. He has been in contention at the Masters before. 4 previous top 10 finishes. One time he was 11th on another occasion, but he's never had the lead on the back 9 Sunday at Augusta. Let's go back out to 12 with Vern Lundquist.
And Ian Baker Finch. Just a touch strong, but nicely done by Ian Baker Finch, who at the outset of the day was trying to become the first Australian to ever win here. It appears he will not. We go to 13.
Earlier, Jeff Sluman's opportunity from 15 feet for eagle. And now he goes to 8 under. Very much in the picture, I might add. Back to 12, Vern.
Raymond Floyd. Back edge of the green. Obviously, he'll take his time with this.
Vern, that's very sandy back there. In fact, on practice rounds, players were practicing blading wedges rather than trying to chip it because the ball would sit down in the sand. It was very difficult to get the club on the ball.
Is that a much more difficult shot, Ken?
Very much so. There's not a lot of grass there, and a lot depends on the lie. But I watched several players practicing, as I said, bladed wedges, because you can catch this a little bit heavy and the ball won't go anywhere.
2 off the lead. This for birdie.
Smart play with a putter.
Is that enough? No. Oh, dear. We go to 13.
The second shot, Ian Woosnam, defending champion, 205 yards.
Good.
Right at it. Watch this. Fantastic. Best of the day by far. What a great second that was. Back to 12, Vern.
And Tom, Raymond Floyd still away. Said one of the real reasons he was so disappointed by the loss in the playoff 2 years ago, as he didn't think he'd ever have a chance again. And yet here he is at the age of 49 in contention. A wonderful season, the winner at Doral earlier. But in desperate need of this par-saving putt.
You know, Vern, getting back to what he did with the putter, when Raymond doesn't chip the ball, you know there has to be something wrong when he's off the green, because he's the best chipper around the green I've ever seen.
It goes back to your point of his selection of play at the 11th, Kenny, when he did decide to chip.
Because I would say the field would putt from there, but how many times have we seen him chip in time after time?
Exactly. Well, now the nerves come into play. This is a good 12, 14 feet for par. Oh, mercy. Well, we talked earlier, Ken, about the effect of the hills, the possibility that Raymond might tire at the edge. Any sense of that?
On a normal day, no. He said he doesn't get tired, but when you get up at 6 and had to come back out, then go back, you've spent a day and a half playing rather than one.
Here's Fred Couples back in the fairway at the 11th, 180 yards out. That's an 8-iron. And that's a terrific shot. Below the hole, right side, about 30 feet away. And to 12. Here's Ian Baker Finch. Well, they're all falling back of Fred Couples. Ray Floyd will have unpleasant memories of the 12th in 1992. A double bogey on Friday, bogeys on Saturday and Sunday. And back at the 11th, Craig Perry 170 yards out. That's just about 2 feet farther back than Raymond Floyd found himself after his second shot. Freddie Couples at the age of 32 in quest of his first Masters championship. A 3-shot lead as he plays the 11th in the final round.
Couples and Floyd, they dueled at Doral. Floyd won that one, Couples was second, but Fred has won 2 tournaments in the last 6 weeks, including one by 9 shots at Bay Hill, and showing that he's in full command at the moment in the final round. And out to the 13th tee with Tom Weiskopf.
From the tee, we're looking from behind the players. Ian Baker Finch has just driven his ball. Ideal position. He started that ball down the right side of the fairway, turned it over. Earlier, Raymond with a 3-wood, I might add. Starts it out at the 2 big pines at the end of the fairway, trying to turn it over, which is easy to do with a 3-wood. Takes advantage of the slope, and it is a huge drive around the corner. Can't be much more than 190 to the pin from there. Earlier, Ian Woosnam from 4 feet. Eagle, opportunity. Now from 3 under to 5 under. And forward to you at 15, Ben.
Corey Pavin. That is a shot of 225 yards with a 4 metal and a splendid shot to the back of the green. Very safe position there, and he is at 8 under par, and obviously with an eagle opportunity to get to 10 as we go back to the 11th.
And Craig Perry, who began the day with a 1-shot edge, now finds himself at 8 under par. He's about 2 yards off the green. 26-year-old young man from Melbourne. And this is his 3rd shot. That won't get there. Boy, he has really had his difficulties today. They began on the third hole, and they have continued as he has lost 4 shots to par already, and he's got 6-8 feet left for par here at the 11th. Fred Couples, of course, quite aware of the misfortune that befell Raymond Floyd. He could see Raymond playing right in front of him. And there's a large leaderboard right here to the left of the 11th green. No surprise, certainly, the way he has been playing this year to find him in the lead. And we go back at 15.
Corey Pavin has this putt for an eagle 3 to vault into second place outright at 10 under par. Doesn't do much. And it will have to be birdie at best, which will, if he makes that birdie putt, get him tied with Ray Floyd for second place to 11.
And having studied this birdie effort, Fred Couples. Insect or something landed on the ball, so they'll mark it, replace it, and start over again. Now Couples for birdie. Right to left break. But he will maintain his 3-shot edge over Raymond Floyd with his par at the 12th. At the 11th, I beg your pardon. Kenny, do you have a sense that we go to 15 first?
Corey Pavin with this small putt makes his birdie and gets into a tie for second place with Raymond Floyd at 9 under par. But one senses that his best chances have gone with the par 5s. There you see Raymond Floyd and Ian Baker Finch at
Floyd pulled slightly. Raymond Floyd's second shot is pulled slightly off the back left of the green, almost pin high. Not a real difficult position to play from, but not a good shot from 190 yards. He back to 11.
And a putt that Craig Perry simply must have. Got it. So that keeps him within 4 as he and Fred Couples head to the 12th. To the 15th.
Ted Schultz from 215 yards out with a 4-iron. No wind at all. Whoa. Well, he'll have his problems from there. Schultz at 8 under par, 4 off the pace. And we go to the 16th hole, and Corey Pavin's tee shot twice cost him a watery grave. But this is a very good one. It's going to feed right down to the hole. and will stay below the hole. Give him a straight uphill putt. He loves it. And we'll go back to the 12th.
And a view from behind the pin, back toward the tee, on which we find 32-year-old Fred Couples. 165 yards, and again, there's been an absence of wind this afternoon.
What is it to the hole? 66.
Vern, as we discussed all week, you and I, this is the shot that will make or break it right here.
Now, club selection, Ken, absolutely vital. Fred and his caddy have determined it's 166 yards to the hole.
I swear if he puts it at the flag, he's pushed it.
Go! Get him.
Wow. He had parred 3 days in a row.
65. Yeah. The one that finishing with
It is dry. But there's much to be done. Now Craig Perry. And Corey Pavin suddenly is 3 back within birdie range at 16. And all but out of it the other day when he had a hole-in-one at the 16th.
It feels like strangling it.
Now take a look at Fred Couples' ball. There it is. You see it about a foot above Rays Creek. If I were Fred, I would be running across the Hogan Bridge and getting to that ball before it rolls back in the water. Here's Craig Perry. Well, they like it on the tee. Now, there's an example of a man who was well back and had no choice but to go for it. And a test of his courage, Craig Perry comes through. He's got a birdie opportunity at the 12th. And Fred Couples' heart must be beating a little quicker even for a man of his demeanor. Pat saying a while ago he makes walking look easy. He's hurrying a little bit right now. There's the ball. It is still up. We go to 13.
The third shot from to the left of the green. Slide up slope for Raymond Floyd. 80 feet from the hole. Just loft this ball up on the green and let it take its course down toward the hole.
More. Good one.
Well, I've seen better, but under these circumstances, he's left himself with a very, very, I would say, easy 5-foot putt, if they are easy at this point, straight up the hill. Good position to putt from. Forward to 16, Ben.
And Corey Pavin from below the hole, this birdie opportunity. He's right in the thick of it now, this to get to double figures at 10 under par. Yes, all the way. Slam dunk. Corey Pavin is fired up. The adrenaline is pumping. And of course, he had the better of Fred Couples at the Honda. He won the playoff as we go back to Fred at the 12th.
And the continuing dilemma of Fred Couples. There's the ball. Be an interesting stance, Ken.
One thing he can't do, Vern, he cannot ground his club because he's in the hazard.
Right.
And I wouldn't really walk too close to it either. But if he makes 3 here, this may be the luckiest 3 I have ever seen on this hole in my life.
Well, think of the odds of that ball staying dry. hitting where it did. Not good.
How many times have you seen that stay drive from there?
Never. And he's got to be very careful about his balance. But it is dry.
I wouldn't be wasting a lot of time.
Raymond Floyd has just made 5 from 190 yards. Left with his second shot. Back to 12.
And the leader by 2, Fred Couples. Any good? How about the reaction? Found another ball. Didn't like the brand.
Thanks, Craig.
Oh, what a shot.
You know something, Vern? That's like going to 12 and making 5 and say, nah, take a 3. You know, you're a nice guy. You don't need to make double bogey.
Well, just think of what he is about to do here, getting a par, and Raymond Floyd 4 over on this hole in the last 3 days. That may cost Raymond the championship.
Well, as you said, Vern, we have never seen one stay on that bank that went inside that yellow line yet.
I was shocked when I saw the ball still up. You wonder if the range yesterday might have softened the ground and made it more receptive to that shot. I just don't know.
It looked like the ball was a little bit plugged. It might have stayed in its own hole.
Craig Perry thought he might see a swing of 2 shots here, or 3. Now needs this for birdie. To pull within 3, and it may be disappearing. Boy, that is really a wasted opportunity for Perry. Stays at -8 and apparently still 4 back. Fred Couples with that much left for his par. And what a save this will be. If he can negotiate the final 2.5 feet. Well done. He's really excited by it, huh?
I think he's more relieved than he is excited.
There's a lot of work to be done. Let's go to 13.
Well, the walk up to the tee is very close. I think Fred Couples, Kenny, has 2, maybe 3 things really going for him at this particular moment. He has power. He has a wonderful putting touch. So those are 2 assets to have, and obviously the confidence now has to be with him after dodging that bullet there at 12.
As we were talking today, Tom, this morning, that you and I said is with his length, to even flirt with the creek would be crazy right now. What he has to do now is take it up at the pine trees and take it off the pines and forget that creek down there.
Well, he has that 3-wood that he uses so successfully, which really, for most players, if they do choose that from the tee, they're trying to turn the ball over to spin it against that slope, and that's what he's chosen. Because you don't need a driver. You're just driving the ball too far into the slope up high, and that's a much tougher shot. You're playing with more width with a 3-wood, and it should be an easier club to hit. And you're pumped. You've got to be pumped. And, you know, I think what's probably going through his mind is just remain calm, keep thinking, play the golf course, don't play the competitors that are ahead of me. I can't control what they're doing. I have to control my own destiny from here on in. You can see right just off the tree line to the left, there are 2 big pines right in the middle of the fairway. Just off those pines to the left,
just hovering over the tributary to Rays Creek. He'll start this ball right at that second pine, try to turn it slightly.
Coming this way. Coming this way.
Out to the right. He didn't turn it over.
Just left that corner tree. Yeah.
He appears to be blocked from our angle back from the green direct line to the pin for sure. Be an interesting choice that's going to come up for Fred now. Craig Perry desperately needs at least a 4 and possibly a 3.
Gets through.
Hold it. Hold it. Oh, the golfing gods are with him. Kind of caught the edge of the trees to forward to 14, Bobby Clampett.
Thanks, Tom. Raymond Floyd looking over his second shot here at 14. It's our first view of the 405-yard dogleg to the left, par 4. You can see there at the in the middle of the screen, the big mound that surrounds the front of this green. The pin today located only 4 yards over the top of that mound. A lot of swirly winds here. The wind's lower levels coming out of the south, upper levels out of the northeast, and it's swirling. Raymond 148 yards. I think a solid 8-iron. Raymond looks like he's looking a little left, but it'll feed right if it's left of the hole. Get up. Oh no, it caught that mound and back down off the front of the green. Oh boy. And Freddie Couples, the leader, 2-shot leads over Corey Pavin, 3 over Raymond Floyd, and 4 over Scholl, Sluman, and Perry. We'll be back in a minute.
Some of the other scores, John Daly with that final round 68. Curtis Strange said it was fun back there on the back 9 today. A lot of birdies to be found. He finished 3 under after a 69. Jack Nicklaus 1 under with a Lothabo, and Crenshaw was even. Watson +2, and Seve Ballesteros blew up with a final round 81. Over to 17 with Gary McCord.
Corey Pavin, 165 yards away, the only one looking like he's got a chance right now. He's hollering for it to bite. He's pleading for it to bite. That's not bad, pin high to the left, but he's got to go up and over a ridge and then back down to the pin, and he needs a couple of birdies right now. Let's go see Freddie at 13.
Thanks, Gary. Well, here are the facts. Dead stymie directly toward the pin. Water protects the front and the right. Bunkers in the swale to the left. Yardage is 225 yards. Options. If I lay up, you can see where he's driven, well to the right behind those 2 big pines, one of which is the ladder. Now the options are, do I lay up, easy pin to pitch to, I'm putting well. 5's probably the worst score I'm going to make doing that. Got a possible 4. Now, do I gamble? Do I take the chance? I have 205 yards to carry the water. I can play left, put it over in the swale.
Through the ridges, sort of right about now. I want to just chip this down on your side. Are you on the right side?
So he's chosen to lay up. Kenny, I think that's a very, very smart play.
Well, what he's doing, Tommy, what we said long before, he's got 2 numbers now. He's got 4 and 5. If he goes for it, he puts 6 and 7 in there too.
And he's putting so well. He doesn't have to force the situation here right now with 15 coming up. He can't get careless though. He's got to give himself an angle.
And he has to leave himself a full shot, not get too close to the creek.
Came out low, hooking, catches the contour, slides down to the left side, perfect place. 14.
Raymond Floyd, Tom, chipping here at 14. Look out! Raymond Floyd back to 10 under par with an incredible birdie here at 14. I was a little surprised that he took the chipper. He had to land the ball in the upslope of that large mound to get the ball trickling down to the hole. Wow! Can it get any more exciting than this? Back to 13.
Craig Perry, 205 yards to the flag. 190 yards to carry the water. Hanging lie. Center of the green is really the place to play. Forget that pin. It's pulled it just slightly, catches the left side of the green. Will it hold? No, no. Not too bad though. That's not a difficult place to play from. As we look back, what a marvelous golf hole. So many options here. So many opportunities too. 14.
Ian Baker Finch for birdie. Not to be. Seen a lot of lip outs on this hole today. The pin cut just on the side of this hogback. Where Ian was, he had a double breaking putt. And it just broke a little right at the hole. Excellent effort by Ian. Remains 6 under par for the tournament. Let's look again at Raymond's chip from in front of the green. Looks to be about an 8 or a 9 iron. Ken Venturi?
I would think that's probably a closed down sand wedge and bumped it in there. And he's the, as we said, he's the best at this.
My, my, my. You know, Ken Venturi, you look here at the leaders. Freddie Couples, 2 shots now over Pavin and Floyd. Is it any wonder in the past history in the last 2 months that these players have been competing against each other, that these 3 would be at the top of the leaderboard? The only 2 tournaments that Freddie hasn't won or been in contention there to win, Corey Pavin and Ray Floyd stole it away from him. We'll go up to you, Gary, at 17.
Bobby, what we got here is Corey Pavin 2 shots back, needing a couple of birdies. He's got a birdie putt, but it's not one you can get real aggressive. He's got to go up the hill and then the feet right down the hill. If he gets a little aggressive with this, it can go 5 or 6 feet by. He's in a position, though, he must make. Not a bad putt, just a tough position to putt it from. Let's go back to 13.
Okay, you can see from behind, Fred Cup, 15th tee.
Raymond Floyd. Now it's essential that he gets this in the go area to go for the green.
Rip it!
Looked to be perfect, and it is, and long, and running hard. Perfect, absolutely perfect. Dead center of the fairway. And he will have 195 yards to the flagstick as we go back to the 13th, Tom.
The 3rd shot, 75 yards left for Fred Couples. The safe route to the left. Pin high. Not his best, but 15 feet. Still birdie. Is very much in Fred's game at this moment. So far today, Fred Couples on top of the leaderboard at 12 under. Corey Pavin playing 17-10. Raymond Floyd at 10-3-14. Mark O'Meara 8. Sluman 8. Perry and Price at 7. So realistically, I would think the 8s need to do nothing more than birdie every hole that they play from here on in. Now, Craig Perry is surmising his 3rd shot, which is in the swale, just off the green at 13, but we'll go forward to 17, Gary.
Corey Pavin, 2.5 feet for his par. Ooh, cut the guardrail, but it went right in. Okay, so that's enough of the pars. Let's get on with the birdie on the last hole. Post something immediately and see if they can back up. Let's go to 13.
Okay, Craig Perry has a perfect lie. The real problem is just to the left as he's walking up here right now. You'll see a ridge just in front of him, which is directly in between his line from the ball to the hole. So he has to say now, do I play it out wide of that ridge, let the contour bring it in, and maybe leave the ball to the left of the hole, leave myself with a downhill putt for opportunity for birdie, or now do I pitch it to the right of the ridge and maybe wind up further away, but yet still have the chance to putt uphill? Probably a sand wedge. Perfect line. This is a must up and down for Mr. Berry. Played it to the left of the ridge. Takes the contour down the slope. Very good golf shot, really. 7, possibly 8 feet left. Straight up the hill, though. Forward to 16, Ben.
Jeff Sluman on the tee, 8 under par. Needs to make birdie here to have any opportunity. As Tom said, you've got a birdie in if you're on 8. And there's a very good opportunity for him to do so. At least start the run here. But he made a mistake by only parring 15 as we go back to the 13th.
Okay, Fred Couples, 15 feet. Pin high, left of the hole. This putt has been missed in most cases today low. In other words, the players are not reading enough break into this putt. It breaks a lot more than it appears. It's very straight, flat putt. He's not really going uphill. He's not really going downhill. Just a side slope. He just can't quite figure it out. Kenny, they've really haven't put much pressure on Fred today. I mean, those behind, you know, later in the pack.
Well, when you think about the scores they shot for the first 3 rounds, and you look at Perry, who had numerous opportunities and putted so poorly, and of course at 12, and Raymond made birdie just to get back to even par. No one's doing anything there.
15 feet left. Birdie opportunity. This could really separate him from the field. Well, I think when he was back there with his second shot, he probably felt like 5 was the worst score. 4 would be nice. It's always disappointing, but he really hasn't lost any ground. Now the pressure goes to Craig Perry. He must make this putt. He must. Straight uphill, slight break to his right. I don't think he can give the hole away.
Tommy, when you think of the putts he missed, 3 putting, 3, 4, and 5. The putt he missed at 10, and where he missed his biggest opportunity was missing the birdie putt at 12.
Most of them have been at this length too, Ken.
You're absolutely right.
Pulled it. Just pulled it right away. Wasn't an aggressive stroke. He's breaking down with his putter. He's not stroking the ball like Fred is. Forward to 15.
Raymond Floyd with the biggest drive of the day, except for that of John Daly, has 195 yards to the flag. He has a 5-iron, and he's really pumped up. He's left himself an uphill putt with a little break to the right, and the battle is joined between these 2 great friends and the little Corey Pavin. Couples by 2 from Pavin and Floyd.
Remember, the last American to win the Masters was Larry Mize in 1987, and the first 5 names on that page are all from the United States. Ray Floyd getting the salute at 15. Let's go there with Ben Wright.
As well he might. What a magnificent performance. Thwarted 2 years ago by Nick Faldo. But he's become a better player. He's gaining with the years, like the true vintage wine. To 18.
Nick Faldo. Just on the fringe. He made a little bit of a run earlier, got it to 8 under, back over to 14.
Freddie Couples on the tee. Looks like the 3-wood here. He'll have to turn this right to left. Smart play here, I think, for Fred to hit 3-wood. Driver, just fairway's too narrow. The longer it goes, and you can see the ball's in perfect shape down the right center of the fairway, and up to you, Pat, at 18.
Faldo and Pavin. Pavin just 2 behind.
Pavin 180 yards. And if you said it before, he needs birdie to be able to get a smell of victory. 5-iron. I got a very nice roll off the hill, and of course that putt hasn't been made today, and it has been slower than all the players had anticipated.
He got it on the upper shelf. That's a difficult putt to 15.
And now Raymond Floyd, winner at Doral, tied for 3rd behind Pavin and Couples at the Honda, those 3 involved. Then went to Japan and won his first tournament as a senior, although he doesn't achieve that age until September the 4th. And of course, if he can make this putt, he will tie Fred Couples. He should probably be declared illegal to play the Seniors Tour. I'm sure with this kind of form, he probably won't go there. He'll just stick around and plunder the youngsters. This has a little break to the right at the finish. The applause you hear is for the players, including defending champion Ian Woosnam, walking behind the 16th green. Oh, Raymond. Absolutely in the heart had he hit it. But it is now only 1 shot between Couples and Floyd. And there's an awful lot of water between Couples and the clubhouse. Ian Baker Finch hit an absolutely superb 1-iron to this position. Has this eagle opportunity at 6 under par. When you think he hit a 1-iron and Ray Floyd hit a 5-iron, it gives you the measure of Floyd's extraordinary length. As he gets older, he gets longer. This putt, if it does anything at all, just moves a little to the right. Baker Finch, having birdied the first hole, looked very strong, but passed rather quickly away from contention with bogeys at the 3rd and the 5th holes, the 10th and the 12th. Now having to back off, maybe for a moment because of happenings at the 16th. With Ian Woosnam and Nick Price playing the 16th. Now for eagle. Nope, was always right of the hole. So he will have to be content with a birdie to 14.
Craig Perry, second shot, 140 yards, right rough behind the trees. Really a tough shot. Oh! What a terrific shot. He had branches that he had to go under and slice the ball around. That was a remarkable shot from that position. Difficult driving hole for him. He's had problems moving the ball right to left today, and here at 14 you need to move the ball right to left. And he faded off to the right. Freddie's in perfect shape here. 135 yards to the hole. My guess, just a nice smooth 9-iron, possibly a pitching wedge for Fred.
Throw a chunk of grass.
Again, the pin only 4 yards over that large mound.
The last green, like it might be coming slightly in. Did you feel that? You were sitting down there?
There's the swirly winds we talked about. Appears to be still up here. So quiet you can hear the crows crowing in the background. Freddie will want to hit this ball a little past the hole and a little left of the hole. Let the slope feed it down to the hole. Hasn't lost his smoothness. That's exactly where he should have played that shot. That's going to roll within 8 feet of the hole. Beautiful shot by Fred Couples. Only 8 feet. Pretty straight putt for birdie here at 14. That could give him a 2-shot advantage. It's no wonder. You know, there's a statistic that they hold on the PGA Tour called the all-around. Of course, Fred Couples is leading the all-around. Guess who's in second? Raymond Floyd. And we'll go up to you, Pat, at 18.
Corey Pavin to move within 1.
Pavin 10 under par. This putt has fooled the players. Has been a little slower, but he cannot afford to leave it short. He's got to get to 11 under and watch what happens.
He had made 9 birdies today already.
That was dead center, too. That was dead in the heart. The only way he missed that was leave it short.
Back to 16.
And now the moment that is so important, the club selection. Raymond Floyd conferring with New Zealander Stuart Williams, his caddy. They've made their selection. It's 180 yards to the flagstick. Ian Woosnam and Nick Price have cleared the green. As you can see, not a breath of wind disturbing the pond or the flagstick. Pin so far left that the left-hand bunker and the water very much in play.
You! No! Go!
Great shot. Absolutely splendid shot and a brave one. To 18.
Pavin. Finishes -10. Great round today. 67. The low of the day. Back to 16.
Ian Baker Finch. After a great second shot into the 15th.
You the man too! Get up.
Oh, that difficult little chip over the ridge from there that tricked Jack Nicklaus just a little while back. Raymond Floyd with his game face on, walking round the pond to what is certain to be a warm ovation. Cheering swells. And the crowd rises in unison to one of the greatest ever competitors. Just shy of his 50th birthday on September the 4th. And the hero of this young man, his partner in the Ryder Cup, for whom Floyd has been such a guide and mentor. To 14.
Fred Couples for birdie. 7 feet, just outside the right lip. It's a double breaker. It'll move right at the hole, left at the beginning. Yes. What a great putt. Right after Ray Floyd birdies 14, Freddie Couples puts it right on top of him to extend his lead to 2 shots as he moves to the 15th, and only 4 holes here to play. There the leaderboard, Freddie at 13 under par, followed by Ray Floyd 11, Corey Pavin through at 10 under. Mark O'Mara, Jeff Sluman, Craig Perry behind at 8 under, 5 back. Ian Baker Finch at 15, and we go up to you, Bentley, at number 16.
Marvelous sight, isn't it? The crowd falls silent. Ian Baker Finch is away. Raymond Floyd has a very makeable putt after that bravest of tee shots coming over the water and the bunker. Just playing straight at the flagstick. There's no back off in Raymond. And here is a man destined to make his notch in the history of the game, already a British Open champion. Universally liked by his peers for his gentlemanly behavior. A man who was a protege of Peter Thompson, the great Australian who won 5 British Opens. And the noise you might hear was the cheering as the score of Freddie Couples going 13 under at the 14th was elevated to the huge leaderboard alongside the 15th green. And now to the 15th tee, 500 yards, par 5. Essential that Freddie gets in the fairway to go for the green. And he's hit it too far left. That is going to be masked by the pine trees down the left-hand side. He will have to hook the ball around those trees if he's to get to the green. And now to the 16th hole, and Raymond Floyd, a similar putt to that which Sandy Lyle made here 4 years ago. Down the slope. He will look at it from every angle. The oldest winner of the United States Open at Shinnecock Hills in 1986. This to cut Couples' advantage to 1 shot. Such a beautiful touch. A little heart massage. Raymond remains at 11 under. And now he faces that long walk uphill to the 17th and then Uphill again to the 18th. Ian Baker Finch for a par that means an awful lot in terms of pride. He and Craig Parry battling for the leading Australians. Finish, still an Australian, has to win the Masters. Gorgeous touch. A putting stroke, the envy of all who've witnessed it. Fred Couples enjoys a two-stroke advantage as he comes to the last two water holes at Augusta National. His due. And we'll go forward to the 17th.
And Ben, there you see Raymond Floyd. He hit the large tree on the right. Back some people up. He's got 100. Let's listen.
62 right at him. 6 from the right, and it's right at the back.
We've got 185 yards. Over the green here is DOA. You don't want to do that. Raymond's going to pick a spot right on that hill he sees right there. He missed this green to the right or long, it'll roll way, way away. Remember 2 years ago, his duel with Nick Faldo, he missed the green, or missed the pin and hit it to the left and then three putted. Difficult position right here from 185.
You there?
Well, he's got it right in the middle of the green. He's got about 40 feet. It's a little up the hill, and it should break a couple of feet to the right. Not what we call a birdie putt. Raymond Floyd currently 2 shots back of Freddie Couples. And now Ian Baker Finch. Second shot, 165 yards. You can see the pin there right over the middle of that bunker. Little up the hill. I would assume he'd probably be taking a 7-iron. No, he can hit it real hard and not hit it past this pin. Stay in the air, that means get up. Very nice golf shot right there by Ian Baker Finch. 15 feet straight up the hill. Let's go to the 15th.
Lofted club for Freddie. Just needs to put it on the surface and let it run. No, that was not his best. The good news is that he's left it below the hole. But it is a formidable distance below the hole. Really didn't seem to complete the stroke. Rather flapped at it. Just earlier, Craig Parry, an exquisite shot. Little pitch and run, magnificently played, as you might expect from a man experienced in Europe, to 18.
Nick Price.
170 yards. And he has been swinging well all week. And that looks pretty good.
As good as we have seen all day long. Here's another player who made a little run at winning this thing. There's the defending champion, Ian Woosnam, who will present the Masters green jacket to this year's champion, along with the chairman of the Masters Tournament Committee, Jack Stevens.
Woosnam is 160 yards, and you take away yesterday after he went back after the rain and double bogeyed 4 and 5. It might have been a different story coming to 18 right now. A little long.
15.
Fred Couples for birdie. Didn't come right as he expected it to do, so his par will still give him a two-stroke advantage with 3 holes to play. But all in all, a disappointing par. Craig Parry with this for a birdie to get to 9 under, and if he gets to 9 under, of course that vaults him above Mark O'Meara and Jeff Sluman into outright 4th place and gives him a further cushion over Ian Baker Finch, his countryman. Doesn't do a great deal, but it's quick. Oh, pulled it. And he's pulled a lot of putts in this fatal last round as we go to the 18th.
The recognition for the defending champion, Ian Woosnam, and for his playing partner, Nick Price. Back to 17.
Raymond Floyd. Putt about the length of a school bus right here, and that's going to go to the right. He had about a little over 40 feet, probably. You can see, he said, "Oh, Steve, it broke about that far, and we only played it to break about a foot." Just left himself in a tough, tough birdie position when he hit that tree off to the right and had 185 yards in here. If you get you a good drive, you've got a 9 or an 8 iron in here. Raymond 2 shots back of Freddie Couples at -11. Ian Baker Finch. Boy, what a bunch of good Australian players we have now in the world. Unbelievable. Boy, if they ever fielded a team, whew, they're going to get the kangaroo off their back one of these days, and these guys are going to break through with a bunch of major championships. A bunch of them. -7. Having a good tournament. 2 over par for the day, though. This stroke I just like to watch. I'll just go out to the putting green and watch this. Beautiful. Did he hit it? Did he hit it? Ah! We'll give him that, and let's go right over to the 16th.
Lovely view of this magnificent hole known as Red Bud, redesigned by Robert Trent Jones Sr. Just had a little creek that dallied across the hole in the old days, and Jones built this beautiful but dangerous pond. And the pond is really dangerous today, since the pin is tucked behind it and behind the left-hand bunker.
Everyone stand, please.
And we'll go back to the 17th.
Raymond Floyd with one of those oily 3.5 footers, and he pours it right in. Remains at -11. 1 to go. Back to the 16th tee.
And Freddie Couples ready to fire.
You the man! Hey!
Come on in. Come on in.
That should feed its way down to the hole. Eminently safe. taking the water and the bunker out of play. No time for heroics.
You don't think it's one more?
Pardon?
You don't think it's one more?
No.
You think it's 5?
I think that's pitching right near the hole.
To 18.
Is it? Okay.
Price. Goes for birdie. Back on the 18th tee. 16, beg your pardon.
Craig Parry. 180 yards. Difficult position from which to chip there. To the 18th tee.
Raymond Floyd. A very narrow driving hole. You want to avoid those bunkers as well. Coupled by 2 over Raymond Floyd, and Corey Pavin is behind by 3.
I want to mention that Mark O'Meara, in a tie for 4th, eagled the 13th, birdied the 15th and 16th to get to 8 under par. Fred Couples by 2 over Ray Floyd, so we go back to 18.
Woosnam. That was a par putt. He just never got much to happen.
Now the double bogeys yesterday, if we said Pat had 4 and 5, took the winds out of his sail. He just never looked like he had the same go-get-him.
To 16.
And the chip shot of Craig Parry. I think it can fairly be said that the European and foreign dominance in the Masters has been summarily ended with 5 Americans on top of the leaderboard. And Craig Parry tied for 4th amongst that group. See if he can do any better than Jack Nicklaus and Ian Baker Finch with this difficult chip. Big break to the right. And even that gets well away from him. It is not a place to be on the final day of the Masters, left of the green here. Fred Couples. Now, in this incredible run of his in America this year, 3rd in the Tournament of Champions, tied for 6th at the Hope with a 64 in the 4th round, 16th at Tucson, 25th at San Diego, won the Los Angeles Open, tied for 2nd behind Raymond Floyd at Doral, lost a playoff to Corey Pavin at the Honda, won Bay Hill by 9 over Gene Sowers, 13th in the TPC, and there you see his figures on the back 9, the solitary birdie at the 14th hole, a hole that has defeated many in their bids to become Masters champion, usually by 3 putts. This putt doesn't do a great deal. What it does is go a little to the left, but it's predominantly uphill. To 18.
Ian Baker Finch.
That's 190 yards. That's right on line. Get up. From that distance and uphill to this hole, that's a fine shot.
Back at 16.
And Freddie Couples is finally ready to putt for a birdie to extend his lead to 3. That was not in danger of reaching the hole. A lag putt. And now to 18.
Ray Floyd just about set for his second shot.
170 yards. His last hurrah right here to get it, to make birdie put all the pressure he can on Freddie Couples to make him par the last two if he expects to win. Going to be right a little bit and then kick left in here. And that's an unusual putt we have not seen made, Pat. It's been very slow, and no one has really made it from that position yet today.
16 again.
Craig Parry for par to remain 8 under. His putter has really let him down. And there again, another one passes by the left-hand side of the hole. He's pulled an awful lot of putts today.
Stand, please.
Starting with consecutive 3 putts at the 3rd, 4th, and 5th holes, which really derailed his bid. Now Freddie Couples for par and a 2-stroke cushion for the last 2 holes. Very well done. And he's missed a few of those in his time. And let's go forward to the 18th.
And the recognition for Raymond. Back to 17.
Okay, on the tee. Freddie's laughing. Freddie's got to get a heartbeat. It doesn't look like he's even got a heartbeat. Ken Venturi, I think he won this golf tournament on the 10th and probably the 12th hole. If he looks back and he finishes the way he does now, what do you think?
I thought it might have been the 10th for a moment till I saw the 12th. With the 12th hole, he'll go back and remember that, because that was turning 5 right back into 3 as good as I've ever seen.
I had talked to Freddie on the practice tee early in the week, and I said, Freddie, I'm on 17. What do you do here? He says, Gary, see that tree on the right and tree on the left? I hit.
Stand real still right here.
Whoop, ow, right in the head. Got him. Wouldn't it be funny if that shadow just fell over when he did that? Freddie will hit this as high and as hard as he can. That way, he says, if I hit it to the right, I'll hit it over the tree. And if I pull it to the left, I'll hit it over Eisenhower's tree. And you got to be young and strong to do that.
You the man!
He's going to get his tee. Let's look for it right down the middle. Way down the middle. That was a full nuke right there. He got all of that one. Might have to replace that ball. Let's go back to the 18th.
Ian Baker Finch just dropping it in for his par. A good tournament, good Masters for him.
It hadn't been a very good week for the weatherman today, though, considering he told us 80% chance of rain today.
17.
Craig Parry, you can see Amy down the right side, going to try to hit him a sling hook. Hold it a little bit and probably hit it dead straight. Beautiful golf shot there. Both players right in the middle of the fairway. Freddie Couples a 2-shot lead, and let's go see if Raymond can get into that a little bit.
Raymond needs this to close within 1.
And know, he's not thinking of one thing. He's thinking to make it. The other thing, he's got a lock on second if he two-putts, but all he wants this to get to 12. At least make Freddie play 17 and 18 to win the championship. Goes a little bit right to left, and again, the majority of players, almost everyone has been short on this. It's slower than you think. Hit it, Raymond. Hit it, Raymond. It's been that way all day long on this hole. Amongst the best competitors I've ever seen play the game. I first played with him when he was 21 years old.
Watch his reaction.
He knew he was short when he hit the ball. What do you think about that putt, Ray?
What a wonderful tournament he had.
How about the shot he played at 14, making that pitch shot?
Back at 17.
Freddie Couples just having a nice walk in the park. And believe me, Freddie is always like this. He never has changed. I remember when he came out in the tour and he was qualifying. He was a hot shot coming out of college, combined with that grip and a swing that wasn't as fluid as it is now. He used to hit some of the most horrendous duck hooks you've ever seen. But he was long, and he just kept playing, same golf swing, developed a little more tempo, a little better club position at the top, and now he's at the forefront of our game. He is the man, as they say. Jim Nance, when he first came out here, he was a very shy, quiet kid, as he is right now. A lot of talent, but not a lot of direction.
Gary, I think that there's always been a lot more fire inside of Fred than anyone ever really knows. You know, he has the armor of nonchalance, but inside he's always wanted this moment. And I have to say this, there's a great many friends back from the University of Houston, and I'm one of them. We always knew this moment would one day happen.
A couple of pars, and it will happen. Craig Perry now from 135 yards. This pin is in the back right portion of this green. Over or right is dead. Probably a nice, comfortable 9-iron for Craig. Huge gallery out here today, and I mean, it is quiet. That ball hit on the green and rolled back on the front right. Fred would just hang around there. Always looked like Freddie's spine never fit. He'd always kind of watch him go through all these gyrations. Clean the grip out, then he'll wipe it off with his hand just before he's ready to go. Never's played with a glove. Boy, I'd have to have asbestos gloves on now, the way I'd be sweating. Oof.
Throw up a chunk of grass.
Throw up a chunk of grass. See, it's not doing anything. I mean, it is just perfect out here. Look at this, 68.48, 36 of 39 rounds under par. And we're not playing golf courses that are 6,000 yards with wide fairways. Freddie will aim this ball to the left of the pin, probably a little short. acme of ease with that golf swing. He's yelling bite. And it was short left, and that's right where you want it. Up the hill, 2 putts, 2-shot lead going into the 18th. Freddie Couples on his way to the Masters jacket. Stay tuned.
It has been an incredible run for Couples for 2 months. He played 7 straight weeks, finished second twice, won twice. And then last week, he took the week off from New Orleans, went down to Houston for a while, worked with his swing doctors, Dick Harmon and Paul Marchand, and then he went out to the Final Four. Let's go out to 17. Here's Gary McCord.
Thank you, Jimmy. Front of the green, chipping up the hill, Craig Perry. We've got a huge gallery here. I mean, huge. Deathly quiet. Hear a lung collapse. That's going to be a little short. He's got about 8 to 10 feet, and the way he's putting right now, he does not want that distance at all. Freddie's got a pretty good angle on this. He's got a little shelf that goes up to the flag right about there. And he'll use that as a buffer, and he'll just hit it right into that hill, and it'll kind of stop and hang around to the right. Hard putt to make, pretty easy putt to 2-putt. And I don't think he's thinking make at this point in time. It's amazing when you watch these players play. You take a golfer like Freddie, has a long, flowing golf swing, and his putting stroke mirrors that. It's just a nice, flowing putting stroke. Never hurries. Golf swing never hurries, either does his putting stroke. Great sense of distance Fred Couples has. Tell you what, he's underrated too at reading greens. It's a big part of the game out here on the tour. We play all these different grasses and stuff, and boy, Freddie can really read the greens. Never ask his caddy Joe to help, he just does it himself. 2-shot lead, Freddie Couples for a birdie. Oh, we got one of those oily 5.5 footers here. Oh boy, that's nice to have a 2-shot lead going in 18. I mean, wonderful. 1 shot. Oh, no putt is safe here at Augusta National. Screens get the speed of fine china, if you can imagine putting on that. And boy, on the afternoons here, oh, get a little heat on these greens and they get firm. Ooh, you get nervous sitting up here. Craig Perry now for his par. That away, Craig. Good putt there. He remains at -7. Huge putt right here. Huge putt. Freddie will take his time. This is the one thing he has learned how to handle these. He's always been a little on the, I guess you would call it frustrating from this distance. Has a lot of these, and he just kind of got up and hit them real quick. Missed a few of them in the worst possible positions trying to win golf tournaments, and now he's taking his time, really surveying the situation. If he makes it, 2-shot lead going in 18. If he misses, a 1 shot. Raymond Floyd in the clubhouse at -11. There's a great view of the putt. We can all take a look, and we'll be the ball as it is. Freddie fills his lungs with air and blows it out and says, "Oh, is that huge?" Well, guys, take it away at 18. That was a great putt.
So, Gary, the last two hit over there. Couples and Perry. So that welcome.
There were three players today, Ray Floyd, Craig Perry, and Freddie Couples. All had 3 rounds in the 60s. No one in this championship ever had 4 rounds in the 60s. Raymond didn't do it today, nor did Craig Perry. Freddie Couples has a 2-shot lead. A par wins by 2. If he makes birdie, he's the first player in the history of the Masters to have 4 rounds in the 60s.
Tough birdie hole.
I'm not sure that he is interested in that record.
He and Woosnam said it was like hitting to half a fairway because the trees on the right had grown so much.
I got 3s, Prod.
And you look right up into those 2 bunkers. The guys like Couples can reach them. He's got the driver.
This is a 30-degree dogleg, and you come up from the tee to the green. It's 50 feet elevation from tee to green, to the center of the green. And all he's thinking here now is take it at the bunkers and take it off the bunkers left to right. So he's playing on the right-hand side, playing for a big cut. I think he likes it. He looked like he had a smile of satisfaction on that tee shot, Pat.
Into the bunker. But a 2-shot lead. Perry will be next.
What a different day this would have been if he did not lose that putting stroke. Missed most of them to the left, but he missed a numerous amount of short putts. That's in the center.
That's Couples' ball in the bunker. And that's the gallery around 18 waiting for them to approach. He leads Ray Floyd by 2. -13 to -11, Pavin at -10.
Let's run down the finishing scores. 63 players in all made the cut at +1 or better. Billy Andrade and George Archer, who won here in '69. Paul Azinger. No charge today for Baker Finch. Seve had an 81. Billy Ray Brown, a good tournament at -5. He's in the top 24. And that will get you back for another year. Ben Crenshaw finished it even. And John Daly, a 68. Steve Elkington, not with the big weekend he had hoped for. Brad Faxon was up at 8 under par at one time today and fell back to -3. Bruce Fleischer, Ray Floyd. Jim Gallagher Jr., a triple bogey to close his 3rd round yesterday at the 18th, washed his chances away. Wayne Grady and Nolan Hinkey. Mike Hulbert and John Houston. Houston, who's contended here before. Hale Irwin was +1. Peter Jacobson +7. Bernard Longer. Bruce Litsky birdied the first to get to 8 under par today, but then slid back and finished -6. And Sandy Lyle, he had a fine tournament until the back 9. Andrew McGee and Blaine McAllister with 2 eagles on the back 9 today to finish +2. Mark McCumber and Rocco Mediate. Rocco returning to the conventional size putter. Conventional length putter. And Jack Nicklaus -1. Greg Norman, top 10 at -7. Mark O'Meara, the eagle at 13, birdies at 15 and 16 to climb into a tie for 4th. Jose Maria Olazabal, many thought might be the man to beat this week. Craig Perry at one time today with a 3-shot lead, but now all the way back at 7 under and 6 back. And Corey Pavin, what a week for him. A hole-in-one at the 16th on Friday. It looks like he's set for a 3rd place finish at the Masters. Ted Schulz in his third Masters, top 10 at -7. Jeff Sluman playing once again well here at Augusta. Curtis Strange is 69 today, and Lanny Watkins a sizzling 65 on Thursday, but nothing left in the bag after that. Tom Watson, one of the few years not in contention for the two-time winner. Ian Woosnam -5, and Manny Zerman was the only amateur to make the cut. Fuzzy finished with a 69. Back out to 18.
Craig Perry.
From 165 yards. Look out, Gary. Hey! That's about as far left as I've ever seen a ball come up here. That went left of our tower. That, if the Gary didn't stop it, that would have been on the 9th green.
And he said 4 right.
It's rolling down way back now because where the Gary walked. That's all the commotion up here. See it rolling back there now?
Still going.
He might be able to just stay there and hit it again. Freddie Couples now 160 yards to the hole. That's a 7-iron. All he's concerned with right here now is that lip in front of him. The only way that he can hit a bad score is to hit this lip and keep it in the bunker, and then, or hit it in the bunker in front of the green. You're going to bail, you're going to have to bail right. Oh, picked it clean. Boy, that is.
He didn't like it.
I know. That's. I did.
I don't know why he didn't.
I did. Beautiful. He didn't move a grain of sand. You're looking at
believe it.
You're looking at the world's #1 player, without a doubt, right now, Pat. Now he's going to show you some emotion.
He looks like he just had a 10,000-mile checkup and found out all parts are working.
And in good form. But what a day it's been for Craig Perry. In fact, he's walking to the green. It'll be a while before Freddie can putt. Craig Perry has no idea where his ball is, and he has to go all the way down really close to where the old practice range was.
We want to remind everyone to stay tuned for 60 minutes following the conclusion of the Masters, except in the Mountain and Pacific time zones, where it will be seen as at its usual time.
That applause as you look at Craig Perry going back in search of his ball, but the applause for Couples would remind you of what we heard at Crooked Stick last year when John Daly won.
That's true.
He won the PGA championship.
But John had come into the PGA without a win and has not had one since. And Daly may be a good player, but he's not in the class of Freddie Couples right now.
This will be Couples' first major, and again a reminder to stay with us for the presentation of the green jacket, the ceremony, the closing ceremony. The jacket will be put on Couples by the defending champion Ian Woosnam. He'll be down in our studio. Couples will, along with Woosnam and hopefully Raymond Floyd.
Perry has to get a ruling. He has the bleachers where the photographers stand, and he'll have to get released from there, so he'll go farther down, and he'll have to pitch over the Gary, and the Gary doesn't even know that he's back there.
Here are the top 24 finishers now. Couples, Floyd, Pavin, O'Mara, of course, Jeff Sluman, Craig Perry, Steve Pate, Larry Mize, Nolan Hinkey, Greg Norman, Ted Schultz, Nick Price, Ian Baker Finch, Wayne Grady, Nick Faldo, Dillard Pruitt, Scott Simpson, Bruce Litsky. And this is back with Craig Perry. The ball hit past our tower, past the green, rolled all the way back down the hill.
You know, Pat, you're talking about the 24 players that get back next year.
Right.
When you're not in contention to win and you're getting back in that gray area, you are watching to see what gets you back in next year, because it is so difficult to qualify here, and everybody wants to return back to Augusta.
There are people who will tell you, Ken, that they don't look at the leaderboard. They don't look at the scoreboard. I don't believe that.
No, I don't believe that. I think you always have to know where you stand and what you have to do, especially the leaders here with so many holes that can produce so many different scores.
Well, back in that sea of humanity is Craig Perry.
He's right to the back of where those bleachers are there, and he'll have to get a drop, and then, of course, he'll have to clear the people out.
The people have got to move, some of them. In the meantime, he'd like for the whole thing to be over. Fred Couples, the champion of 1992. A long day, I would imagine, really long day for Craig Perry. He played so well.
Well, you also have a long day when the putter goes, Pat, and also the popularity of Freddie Couples doesn't make it easy.
I think sometimes viewers and spectators forget that it does make a difference who you play with.
Oh, there's no doubt. There are players that you want to play with, and there's players that you really don't care about. And you know, Couples enjoyed his round yesterday with Floyd. He had a marvelous time. He just keeps learning because Raymond knows so much about this golf course, how to play it, and he helped Raymond, and he helps Couples do that.
It may be another 5 minutes before
it'll be a while.
Perry can get all the people moved, so he'll have a clear alley up to the green. In the meantime, Couples just waits. And so does Raymond Floyd.
Well, I'm going to tell you what, with Raymond Floyd there, and he's going to watch Couples, I will tell you, Raymond will be the first one to shake his hand. This is maybe the longest 18th hole a champion ever had to play.
And he still looks, outwardly at least, like that calm demeanor is still with him.
Up on the hill, just move back for us, please. They're not quiet.
Craig Perry at 7 under, so we were talking about that.
It was easier to part the Red Sea than to get those people out of the way.
We were talking about that top 24 finish. This is a very important shot for him.
His caddy is holding the pin up in the air so he can see where the hole is, but it'll have to go back in the hole before he hits the shot. I tell you what, I wouldn't mind waiting if I had the putt that Freddie had and you had 3 putts to win. I really wouldn't mind that way. Would you, Pat?
No. He looks deep in thought, doesn't he?
Well, he's thinking about how long it's taken to do this and how hard he's worked for it and the rewards it has. And there's a lot to it. Unless you've been there, it's hard to explain it or what it means to you.
Well, there are not a lot of people who've been there.
And once you get it, they can never take it away from you. No matter what people say or what they do, you've been there, and whether it's once or many times, it was worth it.
This will be your first tee, and then your second.
Now, that's not a very wide alleyway. The people, they have more faith, I think, than I would. There goes again.
So you're gonna have to just start smoking. I'll watch it.
That's like dropping it on a cart path.
And a roll. Place that.
Roll in.
Now he gets to place it.
Yeah, I don't know if he can keep it when he places it.
I don't think he can.
He might have to use a tee.
I don't think he can.
No.
Well, he's got to find a level spot.
Well, the only way that ball's going to keep from rolling is to put it in kind of a little indentation.
There you go.
All right, Craig, put it in, baby.
Couples, in the meantime, have taken a late Sunday afternoon stroll, waiting for this to be over.
Well, I'll tell you what, they were wrong about the weather. This is a glorious day. Didn't ever had a breath of wind, and from last night when they said 80% chance of rain.
Get off the drain, please. Thanks.
Who's he talking to, Freddie?
Yeah.
This might be longer than the rain delay than we had yesterday. Well, it turned out to be one heck of a shot.
He hits it at the length putt that he's been missing all day.
Now he'll go ahead and finish, right?
I would imagine he would.
Now they had to take the ropes down, and here come the people. Closer and closer.
Reminds you of the old days when the galleries used to be almost on the green when you were
when
playing.
there were no ropes.
I think Freddie's been waiting so long, he's going to go ahead and putt this first putt, Pat.
I think he probably is. I mean, they're right on top of the green.
There are shadows. I've noticed they've got shadows that are almost on the hole, and there's shadows on Craig Perry's marker where he's going to putt from. You think we're ready, Pat? I'd have to bet he doesn't get by the hole as he watched this all day.
He's going to get it there. Whoa.
That far away from being the first man to have 4 rounds in the 60s. He'll mark it. He will mark it. They got to get those people down and get those shadows out of the way.
They got some chance of doing that.
Boy.
Well, I underestimated the gallery.
This is the closest the gallery will ever get to the 18th green in a major championship. Another one missed to the left. Make that would have been the longest par 4 ever made on the 18th hole.
It certainly was the longest bogey 5 ever made.
Straight in, Freddie.
Freddie's wife, Deborah.
And look who's walking out to 18. Raymond Floyd. Watch this. That's what our game is all about.
what a tournament he had. We'll be back with the presentation of the championship and the green jacket right after this.
The very popular Fred Couples has won his first major championship. He wins the Masters by 2 shots, the first man to win the Masters by more than a shot since Bernard Langer in 1985. And let's reflect now on another wonderful week here. 3 legends met at the first tee on Thursday, and 90-year-old Gene Sarazen got the tournament started right down the middle. Lanny Wadkins had a share of the first round lead for the 2nd straight year. Here's how he finished at 18, day 1. 65 for Wadkins. Jeff Sluman about 2 hours behind Lanny, and this is Sluman at the 10th. He too shot 65 day 1. Here's Fred Couples on Thursday, out of the bunker at 16. He opened with a 69. Day 2 was another glorious spring day in Augusta. And for Couples, he got on a 5-hole birdie streak. Here he is at 10. Craig Perry, with a brief scare. That was a birdie putt at the 13th. Well, he drove it into the cup on the par 5 15th. And after a free drop, made a birdie. Ian Woosnam for the 2nd straight year, a 2nd round 66. He shared the lead with Craig Perry. Here's Raymond Floyd at 16 on Friday. If you like that action at 16, check out Pavin's 8-iron Friday. The 2nd hole-in-one of the week. Jeff Sluman had one on Thursday. Day 3, a day disturbed by these alarming bells. Play suspended for almost 3 hours. First it was lightning, and then the rains. And after the delay, Fred Couples at the 7th. Dramatically rattling the flagstick at the 7th. Meanwhile, up ahead at the 8th, Craig Perry for birdie. And Raymond Floyd took the lead with this putt at the 9th. This is early this morning. Ian Woosnam getting ready on the practice green. 6 players had to finish their 3rd round. The weather turned out to be superb. That's look at Craig Perry and Fred Couples. He birdied 8 and then 9. He made the turn with the lead. Got in trouble at the 12th. Frightening moment. But he saved par brilliantly. We found a little extra gift for the week. Ray Floyd at 14. That moved Ray Floyd within 1. Couples 2nd at the 14th. He would roll it in from there. And that's when he gave us one of the first knowing smiles of the day. And then at 18, the 2nd shot. Fred Couples experiencing the greatest feeling in golf, the walk up the 18th. as a Masters champion. Came here ranked #1 in the world, and today we saw the coronation for Fred Couples. Dear friend Ray Floyd adding his congratulations. Welcome back, everybody, into the Butler cabin. I'm with Jack Stevens, the chairman of the Augusta National Golf Club for the first year. And Mr. Stevens, how did you enjoy your new role?
Jim, it's been a very exciting week. We had an exciting tournament. I've enjoyed every moment.
It's been a very exciting week. We're still waiting for the arrival of our new champion, Fred Couples. But in the meantime, let's introduce Manny Zerman, who made the cut for the second straight year, the low amateur, the only amateur to make the cut in '92. How about that, Mr. Stevens? I know you have a long tradition here recognizing the amateur.
Yes, as a matter of fact, amateur golf is our heritage. Manny, we congratulate you. Notice you improved 5 shots, 2 years. Do you think experience had anything to do with it?
Mr. Stevens, I think it had a lot to do with it. Having played here in the practice rounds with last year, and the practice rounds this year, and in the tournament last year, and the tournament this year, had a lot to do with my performance this year. It's you can never learn enough about Augusta, and I think I have learned a great deal as the years have gone on.
Well, good. We look forward to having you back here.
And Manny, how about your future? Tell us about the next couple of years ahead.
Well, I am a junior at the University of Arizona right now, and I plan to finish my schooling, and which will lead me up until May of 1993, in which I would like to turn pro at the summer of '93.
Best wishes to you.
Thank you very much.
You have a vacant chair alongside. Fred Couples, we hear, is on the way, but one more over is Ian Woosnam, and here he comes. Ian Woosnam, the defending champion, who will present the green jacket. Fred?
Thanks, Fred.
I don't know. I may have been more nervous than you were on that back nine, especially at the 12th hole.
Well, that's the most nervous I've ever been, and obviously it showed, but you get a break like that, and I just start screaming at myself inside, and, you know, forget all this stuff. Hit it left, or, you know, do anything but hit it there, and how it stayed up was a miracle, and so is winning the Masters.
In fact, we have that shot for you, Fred.
Well, you know, I have a tough time aiming away from the pin. I'm sure Ian or Manny do the same thing, and I know the flag's to the right, and I just swing my body out there, and that's where it went, to the right. But it just hit and kind of plug, and then good for the rain. How about that, Woozy?
Unbelievable.
And it was a great lie, and ridiculous, really.
What was it like for you to have a back nine duel with Raymond Floyd?
Well, it was great. You know, I wish I played with Craig Perry, who played very well, but he fell down a little bit, and then I knew Ray Floyd was going to be pretty clutch, and I didn't birdie either 13 or 15, but I made a big putt on 14, and that really relaxed me. But to beat anybody, especially Raymond, it was pretty special.
It's just been a remarkable year for you. This breaks you through, though. You've won that first major. What does it do for you now?
Well, you know, I'm sure the same again for Woozy. I don't really know. You know, I know it's a remarkable feeling, you know, to come here and people picked me to win, but that was no extra pressure. You know, I knew I was playing well, and I just want to play the course. And you know, I'm looking forward to now the Pebble Beach.
That's the U.S. Open.
Right, so.
Best wishes there, Fred. And I really have to say, on a personal note, I think back to over a decade ago when your close friends there in the dorms at the University of Houston, guys like John Horn and Paul Marchand and Blaine McAllister.
Paul's here, yeah.
Paul's here walking with you today. Even we all once said that one day,
I'm looking the other
one
way.
day, you would be wearing the green jacket.
Well, I think of all the tournaments in the major, this is right up my alley. You know, and again, I missed some shots and got away with them, and that's what you can do here. But, you know, I just enjoyed it. The back nine was really a neat feeling. You know, I rolled it by in 17, and I was nervous, but I was not nearly as nervous. For some reason, the 12th hole, if I could get by there, and what a break. And then I just calmed down, hit some good shots.
Well, the time has arrived for the green jacket.
Well, thanks, Jim.
Mr. Stevens, will you please?
Ian, you've been a great champion. Would you now do the honor of welcoming,
I certainly
putting
will.
the coat on our new champion?
It's going to be a pleasure. Well done, Fred.
Thanks.
Welcome to the club. Let's get it on and see if it fits.
Whoops.
There you go.
Fred, congratulations.
Thanks. Thanks for a great week.
Well done, Fred.
All right, Woozy,
I've
thanks.
still got your $20 though.
That's right.
It's a perfect fit.
Well.
And so is the title, Fred Couples and Masters Champion.
All right, thanks,
It fits for life. Fred Couples has won the Masters, and for all of us at CBS Sports, Jim Nance sings so long from Augusta, Georgia.